Hey everyone, so today we are going to be competing in the Remote Brutality 2021. We're getting set up here on the range. We've got our target out there. We've got some cones set up for, I don't know if you can see that, for 15 meters, which I'm telling you looks a lot bigger in person. It looked a lot shorter, and that kettlebell is a lot heavier in person. For those of you who don't know, this is a competition that was set up between Forest Staleka and InRange TV because of issues with doing the regular finished brutality. I've got a couple friends with me out here today who are going to be participating in this as well. We've got some cool guns to do it. Given the context of the range that we're using, we have to use, with targets at 50 yards, steel targets at 50 yards, we have to use straight wall pistol caliber cartridges. So I have to use my MP5, hence my little get up as a 80s style SAS operator. But we've got some other cool guns out here today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and let the pain begin. And I guess actually real quick, if you're not familiar with this, there's a Facebook group. By the time you're seeing this, there is not much time left. It is finishing on the 14th of March. So if you want to do this, you're going to have to get it done in a hurry. All right, now let's let the pain begin. Go. Ready. This rope sucks. Oh.
Two. Three. I'm giving you that one for sure.
Time.
4 right on the buzzer.
Definitely don't have to worry about reloading.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn. Stand by. Go. Dang. All right, you gotta throw it from there. Not clear. You're good.
What are you doing on time?
10 seconds. Time.
Told myself I was gonna breathe plenty, but I didn't.
You can see we have the benefit of some gravel here that is making it nice and slick. So you can see we have to reset every time to get the gravel off the ground, but that's a good, you know, maybe meter and a third, meter and a half of slide. So it's really helping us get, at least occasionally, get it done in two. And if you're he-manning it, easily done in two, but then you got to make the distance back up. So interesting.
Damn it. Ugh. Get it. Time.
All right, so we just finished running the remote brutality. I've got my friends Aaron and Jose with me. This was our first time, I think, doing anything like that. However, we did have the benefit of doing this rather late. So the date, I think today's the 6th that we're doing this now. So it's already been going for just over a week, maybe 2 weeks. And so we've had the benefit of watching a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it well. Some people not do it so well, and we're able to learn from that. So like one of the first things we did when we got out here was tried throwing the kettlebell around a little bit and see what worked. And you know, you were saying that the throws are going to make or break it. So what was your take on how you threw the kettlebell?
You know, it would make sense that a two-handed throw would yield better results, 2 arms, twice the strength. But we found that a one-handed throw expended less energy and got you just as much, if not sometimes better distance.
Yeah.
And if you could make a point in 2 throws, not every time, but if you could, that's going to save you 10 seconds, maybe more. And in a 3-minute stage, that's going to make or break your run. So
Yeah.
that's the route most of the time.
Yeah, and sometimes it worked too well. Like there were a couple times where you pretty drastically overthrew by a couple meters, and had to then work back. But then there were also times, especially with me, I know at least a couple times on my run, I stopped like literally inches short of the fault line, had to get up just to drop it another couple inches. And we did have some really loose gravel, which I was worried would just really deaden the travel of the kettlebell when it hit. But we had some pretty good sliding. There were multiple times where we got an extra meter or two just out of the way the kettlebell bounced. And especially from the underhand throw, the trajectory just kind of seemed to encourage that sliding a little bit better. Jose, what was your take on it?
Again, throwing it from the side was a lot more effective than throwing it in between your legs. You just want to make sure you mind where you're swinging. You don't want to hit your knees.
Yeah, 44-pound kettlebell.
But besides that, you get a lot more momentum, I feel, throwing it from the sides, 1 arm versus 2 in between your legs.
Yeah.
It seemed more, you conserve your strength doing it that way instead of using 2 arms. Remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Remember to breathe.
I think we all noticed by the end of it, obviously this is going to be a lot of exertion anyway, so we're all going to be pretty tired by the end of it, but yeah, we could definitely tell that some of us weren't breathing as well as we should have by the time we were done. I think this gave us all the black lung from the way we were kind of coughing by the time we were done. So again, with my whole 80s SAS jive, I was running my MP5, and it went really well. There was a couple times where you saw me miss, and that was because at some point from either grounding my gun or picking it up weird, my rear sight drum actually rotated. And once I figured that out and I was able to recenter it, I was able to get hits. What were you running and how did that go?
I borrowed a GHM9 with an arm brace, and I slammed a Romeo 8 on it that I got yesterday. Threw Rough Zero on it. Never shot that gun. I was pretty impressed with it, especially with the can on. It was very pleasant to shoot.
Yeah.
I put a couple through it without the can. It was a little punchier than I'm used to. I don't shoot a lot of blowback, so that was a little different. But overall, it was a very easy to shoot gun.
Yeah. And then what were you running?
I was using the Definitive Arms AKX9, 9mm AK pattern. Shoots very flat, takes those Colt 32 round magazines, just very flat shooting, very calm. Great gun.
Yeah. And again, we had to use 9mm just because of the limitations of the range we're at. you know, whenever you have a steel target within 100 yards, they require pistol calibers, and they go even further to say straight wall pistol calibers, because you know that 5.7 will zip right through through steel, apparently, and 357 SIG and all that. So it is what it is. So we all ran pistol calibers. Otherwise, we have some other really cool guns that we would have run with us. But overall, I can say, as exhausting as it was in the moment, I had a lot of fun doing it, especially now in hindsight, now that I've caught my breath a little bit. And it's definitely something I would encourage you guys to do if you can go out and actually do this. You know, even if you can't get a 15-meter wide bay, you know, even just going through the motions, even if you can't do it properly to the tee, I think is worth the exercise and the practicing of the skills. What are your guys' take on that?
It's great. Just go for it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I thought I was going to die, and when I was done, I thought I was going to die. But now that it's done, I'm looking forward to whatever they throw at us next year.
Yeah.
It definitely helps to watch a video beforehand and then do a practice run or a couple practice throws more than anything, the practice throws. Other than that, just go for it.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like, so obviously, if you guys follow my channel, you know I do the Cabin Fever Challenge. Aaron does the Cabin Fever Challenge also. And that's a very, very heavily marksmanship-based course of fire, 8-inch target at 100 yards from various shooting positions. And that's a super valuable skill too, but I think it's also worth getting out there and doing the physical exertion courses of fire also, so you can really kind of cover both sides of your bases. And, you know, maybe in years to come, maybe there will be a further target, so then you really have to incorporate the exertion and marksmanship even more. I don't know. I had a great time. So
Very fun. Thank you for having us.
yeah, so obviously this video will be uploaded to YouTube. We're going to do just the short runs for each of us up to Facebook and Instagram, just to have those submissions. But if you can make it before the deadline, definitely get out there and do some shooting, as people next to us seem to be doing. But anyway, with all that being said, as always, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.